I met a dragon woman years ago. Now 5 dragon daughters say the queen is in danger. Ethan Cole remembered the day like it happened yesterday, even though it was more than 10 years ago. He was a human engineer, quiet, careful, and not very daring. His work took him to many space stations, cargo ships, and repair docks. He liked machines more than people, and machines were simpler. They worked if you understood them. People were more complicated. That day, he had just finished fixing a cargo drone on Station Theta 7. The station was not big, only a few levels, metal corridors, pipes running along walls, and blinking lights everywhere. Ethan was tired, his hands covered in grease when he first saw her. She appeared in the docking hall, half hidden in shadows. At first, he thought she was a traveler from a distant planet. Her face was beautiful, almost human, but different. Her eyes were bright gold, reflecting the station lights. Her hair was long and dark, flowing like liquid. She wore clothes that seemed simple but elegant, and then he noticed the small horns peeking from her hair. Ethan froze. He had read about dragon species in old stories, but he never thought he would see one. He wanted to move to speak, but fear and curiosity locked his tongue. She walked slowly, carefully, as if she did not want to be noticed, but something in her gaze caught Ethan. It was not anger or fear, it was sadness. He stepped forward. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice breaking the quiet hum of the station. She turned, startled, and her golden eyes widened. She opened her mouth but did not speak. Then, with a faint motion of her hand, she asked silently for help. Ethan understood. He did not know how, but he understood. She had an injury on her side, a deep cut that looked dangerous. Human medics could not help without revealing her identity. She could not risk being seen. Ethan nodded and led her to the repair bay. "Follow me," he said softly. She obeyed. Inside the bay, Ethan worked quickly. He used sterile patches, wires, and medkits. He did not know dragon anatomy, but he had helped injured animals before. She watched him quietly, eyes soft but alert. She did not move much, but her tail twitched slightly, betraying her tension. "You must have had a fight," Ethan said, trying to make conversation. She shook her head. Then she touched her chest, pointing to a symbol etched into her clothing. It looked like a crown. Ethan guessed she was important. Maybe a princess, maybe a leader. She did not speak, but she allowed Ethan to examine her more closely. When he tried to check her wings, she hesitated, then nodded. The wings were hidden under a cloak folded tightly. Their shape was unusual, not like anything he had seen in drawings or reports. They were delicate, yet strong. Ethan worked in silence, only the small sounds of machines and the station hum around them. He noticed how careful she was with every movement. It was as if she feared something, someone, but she was also brave. After a while, Ethan finished dressing her wound. He stepped back and wiped his hands. She looked at him, golden eyes studying his face. For a moment, he felt she wanted to say something, but words did not come. Then she reached into a small pouch and gave him a crystal. It glowed softly. Ethan held it carefully. "What is this?" he asked. She touched it gently, and images flashed in his mind. Stars, strange ships, worlds filled with dragons, dragons working with machines, dragons speaking in ways he could not hear with his ears but could feel with his mind. Ethan blinked. The images faded. She nodded at him almost like a thank you, then turned to leave. "Wait," Ethan said. "Where will you go?" She shook her head. No words. Then she disappeared into the shadows, moving fast, silent as a shadow. Ethan wanted to follow, but he knew he could not. The docking hall was watched by many eyes, cameras, and station guards. He could only hope she was safe. The days after that were strange. Ethan could not forget her. He kept thinking about her golden eyes, her wings folded under her cloak, and the sadness in her gaze. He tried to tell people, but no one believed him. Dragon women were rare, almost myth. He felt lucky and worried at the same time. He put the crystal she had given him on his desk. It glowed faintly at night, reminding him of that day. Sometimes in the glow he felt her presence like a shadow watching over him. Ethan did not understand it, but he accepted it. It was a mystery he could not solve, but he would never forget. Years passed. Ethan worked on many stations, fixed countless machines, and met many travelers. But he never saw her again. He thought she might have returned to her world, or maybe she had disappeared for good. He did not hope too much. Hope often hurt when it did not come true. Then one quiet morning, the door to his small apartment on the outer rim opened. Ethan was surprised. He had not expected visitors. 5 young women stood there, all different in appearance but with the same golden eyes. Their hair colors varied, black, brown, red, and 2 with pale blonde. All wore simple clothes, but their posture and gaze were confident, almost commanding. "Are you Ethan Cole?" the tallest asked. Her voice was calm but firm. Ethan nodded. "Yes, who are you?" "We are here because the Queen is in danger," another said, her voice softer but serious. "Queen," Ethan repeated. Confusion filled him. He had not heard about any queen nearby. The tallest stepped forward. "You met our mother years ago. She trusted you. Now you are the only human who can help us." Ethan blinked. He could not believe it. 5 dragon daughters, the mother he had helped, alive. And now they said the queen was in danger. He wanted to ask so many questions, but he knew he had to listen first. He invited them inside. They explained their story slowly, carefully. Their mother had been part of a royal family, protecting the queen. An enemy council had risen inside the Dragon Empire. They used technology that could control dragon minds and planned to trap the queen. No dragon alone could stop them because their systems were bound by instinct. A human, one who had never been part of the Dragon Empire, could act without being controlled. Ethan felt a chill. He had never imagined he would be called to save a queen. Yet looking at the 5 daughters, he understood something. They were not asking politely. They were serious. Failure could mean death, not just for him but for many dragons. He studied them carefully. The daughters showed different personalities. Clara, the calm one, observed him closely. Lily, curious and loud, asked many questions. Mia, shy and gentle, stayed close to the others. Kate, sharp and suspicious, seemed ready to attack anyone who tried to deceive them. Nora, quiet and serious, carried an air of authority beyond her years. Ethan realized that together they were strong, but they needed him to think, plan, and act. Ethan nodded slowly. "Okay, I will help, but we need a plan." The daughters smiled faintly. Not many humans would agree without fear, and even fewer would do so knowing the danger. Ethan did not know what would happen next. He only knew that he had to try. He had promised himself long ago that he would not turn away from those in need. He packed his tools, his small gadgets, and the crystal the dragon woman had given him years ago. He felt a strange warmth as he held it, like a reminder that he had been trusted before and would be trusted again. The daughters watched him, eyes shining with hope and determination. As they left the apartment, Ethan took one last look at the stars outside the window. He knew the journey would be dangerous. He knew he might face things no human had ever faced. But he also knew one thing: he could not run, not now. The queen needed him, and the dragons had chosen him for a reason. The station faded behind them as their ship jumped into hyperspace. Ethan felt a mix of fear, excitement, and determination. He had once helped a dragon woman in secret, and now, years later, he would face a challenge that could change the fate of a dragon empire. He did not know if he was ready. Perhaps no human could ever be ready. But he had one advantage. He would think, act carefully, and never underestimate what was possible. The journey had begun, and Ethan Cole, the quiet human engineer, was no longer just an observer of the stars. He was a participant, a protector, and perhaps a bridge between worlds that had never truly met before. The 5 dragon daughters stayed close to him, each showing trust in ways they could not yet express. They were his allies, guides, and in some ways his teachers. Ethan understood that the next days would test every skill he had, every ounce of courage, and every decision he made. But he felt a strange calm. He had faced machines, stars, and danger before, and he had survived. Perhaps now he could survive dragons too. And somewhere far away in the Dragon Empire, a queen waited, unaware that her fate was now linked with a human engineer from a small, forgotten space station. Ethan Cole looked out of the ship's small window as the stars streaked past. Hyperspace travel was always strange. The light bent, the stars became long lines, and the silence of the ship made every sound seem louder. The 5 dragon daughters sat quietly around him, each lost in thought. They rarely spoke, but their presence filled the cabin with energy. Clara, the calm one, studied the navigation charts. Her golden eyes were steady as she traced the path with her fingers. "The dragon capital is far," she said softly. "We must be careful. The council controls parts of the routes." Lily, the curious and blunt one, leaned over to look at Ethan. "Why does a human help dragons?" she asked. Her voice carried no judgment, only pure curiosity. Ethan shrugged. "I don't know, maybe because someone needs help and I am here. I don't like standing by when people are in danger." Mia, shy but strong, peeked from behind Nora. "You are not afraid?" she asked quietly. Ethan smiled faintly. Afraid, yes, but fear does not stop me from doing what must be done. Fear can teach you. Kate, sharp and suspicious, folded her arms. Most humans would run, she said, or fight without thinking. Why are you different? Ethan looked at her. I think, I watch, I plan. You don't always need strength to win. Sometimes you need patience. Nora, quiet and serious, finally spoke. You may be our advantage. The Council underestimates humans. They think you are weak. Her golden eyes glimmered with intensity. They will be wrong. The ship moved silently through space. Ethan studied the daughters. Each one had a different style. Clara was careful, precise, and thoughtful. Lily was curious, always asking questions and exploring. Mia was gentle but could act quickly when needed. Kate was sharp, observing every detail, looking for danger. Nora was the leader in many ways, calm and commanding without showing it. Together, they formed a balance. As they approached the Dragon Empire's outer border, the tension grew. The clouds of energy that marked Dragon territory shimmered with strange colors. Sensors picked up many signals, ships, probes, and hidden traps. Ethan realized that no human alone could survive here without guidance. Yet he also realized why the daughters trusted him. Their instincts told them he could see things they might overlook. Clara explained more about their world. Our empire is old. We have combined our dragon abilities with machines for centuries, but tradition is strong and sometimes it slows us down. The Council uses that, Lily added. They use tech that can control our minds. Dragons cannot resist fully. Even the Queen herself is vulnerable if trapped in the wrong system. Ethan nodded. Then we need to be careful, no traps, no mistakes. The daughters worked together to plan their route. Ethan watched how they communicated without speaking. Small gestures, subtle glances, even slight movements of their tails conveyed messages. He began to understand. Dragons were powerful, but their trust and caution ran deep. Mistakes could cost them everything. During the journey, Ethan learned more about each daughter. Clara had a sharp mind, always thinking 2 steps ahead. Lily had energy and curiosity that reminded him of a child discovering a new world. Mia had quiet strength, able to act decisively when no one expected it. Kate questioned everything, refusing to follow blindly. Nora carried the wisdom and authority of their mother, ready to lead when needed. Ethan realized that to succeed, he had to respect them, not control them. One night, as they rested in a safe zone, Ethan examined the crystal the dragon woman had given him years ago. It glowed faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. He held it and felt memories he did not understand. Flashes of dragons, ships, and strange technology passed in his mind. He realized that the crystal was not just a gift, it was a key. A tool that dragons trusted, even if they could not use it fully. The daughters watched him. Clara spoke. That crystal, it belonged to our mother. She trusted you. She knew you could see things we could not. Perhaps that is why she chose you. Ethan shook his head. I am not a hero. I am just careful. I notice details and I try to think before acting. Mia smiled faintly. Sometimes that is enough. Their rest did not last long. Sensors picked up unusual energy signatures ahead. Ethan looked at the display and frowned. Traps, he said. They are testing us. The Council knows we are coming. Kate's eyes narrowed. Then we must move carefully. One wrong step and we may never reach the Queen. Clara nodded. We can bypass most of the traps, but we must split our attention. Some systems are too complex for dragons alone. Ethan felt the weight of responsibility. He was no fighter, no soldier. He was a human engineer, and yet the safety of the Queen, the Empire, and these 5 daughters rested partly on him. He drew a deep breath. Then we work together. We watch each other and we do not rush. Patience is our weapon. As they navigated the dangerous outer zone, the ship shook from hidden energy bursts. Alarms sounded, lights flashed red. Ethan's hands moved over the controls quickly, rerouting power, stabilizing the engines. The daughters used their dragon senses to detect hidden traps, but Ethan noticed patterns in the technology that they could not. Lily leaned over, watching him. You are amazing, she said. Ethan shook his head. Just careful, anyone could do this if they paid attention. The ship moved past the final trap. They entered a calm region of space, closer to the dragon capital. Ethan looked at the massive ring world glowing in the distance. It was beautiful, built around a molten core, shining with dragon technology that hummed like living energy. He felt awe, but also fear. The Council may be waiting, Clara said. They know our route. They may have set defenses inside the capital itself. Nora added, and the queen may already be trapped. Time is short. Ethan nodded. Then we need a plan for when we arrive. Rushing in will not work. We need strategy, observation, and careful action. The daughters gathered around him. Together, they studied the maps, analyzed the energy flows, and planned their approach. Ethan suggested minor adjustments, routes that dragons might not expect, systems they could bypass. The daughters listened carefully. For the first time, Ethan felt like a true part of their team, not just an observer. As they approached the outer perimeter of the capital, they encountered patrol ships. Dragon sensors detected them immediately. The daughters tensed. Ethan studied the ship's energy patterns and noted a small weakness, a gap in the patrol route, a blind spot that the dragon's instincts would ignore. "We go through here," Ethan whispered, pointing to the chart. "Dragons will follow the obvious path. We go the hidden way." Clara hesitated. "It is risky," Ethan shrugged. "All paths are risky. This one may save the queen faster." The daughters nodded. Carefully, they followed Ethan's direction. The patrols passed without noticing them. Ethan's mind worked constantly, noting patterns, potential threats, and adjustments. He was not strong, but his thinking became their shield. Once inside the inner perimeter, the capital loomed larger. Massive towers of metal and crystal rose above them. Energy flowed through veins in the ground, lighting the city with life. Dragons moved freely, but the council's influence was clear. Many drones, traps, and security measures patrolled the area. Ethan studied the defenses. He realized that a direct approach would trigger a trap. The daughters' instincts alone could not prevent it. They needed a human mind to predict the unseen patterns. He smiled faintly. He was exactly where he needed to be. "We divide," Ethan said. "Some of you distract, some of you watch, and I handle the systems." Lily frowned. "You want to face their technology alone?" Ethan shook his head. "Not alone. With all of you covering, I can manipulate the systems without triggering the traps. The council expects dragons to rush in. I am the unknown factor." Nora placed a hand on his shoulder. "Then we trust you?" Ethan nodded. He felt the weight of their trust. More than machines, more than stars, this was the heaviest responsibility he had ever held. As night fell on the capital, they prepared for their move. Ethan adjusted the crystal in his pocket. The glow reminded him of the dragon woman he had helped years ago. He remembered her eyes, her trust, and her quiet courage. Now that courage lived in these 5 daughters, and somehow it lived in him too. The plan was set. The human mind and dragon instincts would work together. The queen's fate, the empire's future, and the life of all dragons rested on their careful steps, quiet patience, and unwavering focus. Ethan took a deep breath. He had never been a hero. He had never sought adventure. Yet here he was, standing at the edge of a dragon empire, about to challenge the unseen power of a council that even dragons feared. And he knew one thing clearly. Together with the daughters, he had a chance. A chance to save the queen, protect the empire, and prove that humans, though small and fragile compared to dragons, could make a difference when they used their minds and hearts. Ethan Cole's heart beat faster as the ship approached the dragon capital. The massive ring world glowed with molten energy at its core, lighting towers, spires, and skybridges with a warm, humming light. From a distance, it seemed peaceful, but the daughters warned him that danger lurked everywhere. Clara pointed to the display. "The council has placed sensors and traps in almost every sector," she said. "We cannot be detected. We must move carefully." Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "So we sneak like shadows?" she asked. Ethan smiled faintly. "Something like that. But shadows must know where to step or they fall." Nora, standing near the helm, gave a small nod. "We follow your guidance, human. Your mind sees things we cannot." Ethan swallowed hard. He was not used to such responsibility. He had fixed machines and solved problems before, but navigating a dragon empire's capital full of traps and enemies was different. He studied the maps, noting patrol paths, energy flows, and areas where the traps were weakest. "We enter through the old maintenance tunnels," Ethan said. "They are less guarded. Sensors there are old and slower. Dragons' instincts might avoid them, but humans can find a pattern and move through safely." Clara nodded. "Good, that gives us a small advantage. We must not waste it." The ship landed on a lower docking platform. Metal and crystal corridors stretched out before them. Energy pulsed faintly through the walls, almost like a heartbeat. Ethan could feel the hum in his bones. He had learned that the Dragon Empire's technology responded to both instinct and intelligence. The council's systems were clever, but predictable if someone noticed small details. The daughters moved gracefully through the corridor. Their golden eyes scanned every corner, every shadow. Ethan followed, careful not to make noise. He noticed the small glyphs etched into the walls, warning signs, traps, hidden alarms. He marked their locations in his mind. "This way," he whispered, pointing to a narrow passage between two energy conduits. "The sensors here are old. We can pass without alerting them." Kate frowned. "I still do not trust this. Humans make mistakes." Ethan glanced at her. "So do dragons. We just approach differently." "Mistakes can be fixed if you notice them." Mia stayed close, her hands brushing against Ethan's shoulder occasionally, a silent sign of trust. Ethan felt a strange warmth. He had not expected companionship like this in his life. These dragons, though powerful, seemed to trust him more than he trusted himself sometimes. As they moved deeper, they reached a junction. Energy barriers blocked two corridors, and a third corridor led into darkness. Ethan examined the energy patterns. The barriers are linked. If we touch one, the others react, but there is a sequence. I can bypass it. Clara tilted her head. "How?" Ethan pointed to a small control panel. "This panel is old. It was once part of a monitoring system. We reroute the energy for a moment, walk through, and restore it." "No alarms." Lily leaned closer. "And you know this because?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Because I notice patterns. Old systems repeat themselves. The council thinks dragons rely on instinct alone. They forget humans can see patterns others miss." Carefully, Ethan worked on the panel. Wires and circuits glowed faintly as he rerouted the energy. The daughters watched, tense but trusting him. When he finished, he nodded. "Go!" One by one, they passed through the corridor. Ethan went last, double-checking the sequence. They reached the next junction safely. He let out a quiet breath. "We are not out of danger, but that worked," Clara whispered. "The council will notice our intrusion eventually. They may have agents inside." Ethan nodded. "Then we move fast, slow steps, but no pauses." They continued through winding corridors. Each turn brought new challenges, motion sensors, pressure plates, and faint energy fields. Ethan's eyes moved constantly, noting each detail. He guided the daughters past traps with small gestures, hand signals, and quiet directions. Lily tripped slightly on a raised plate. Ethan caught her arm. "Careful," he whispered. "Watch the pattern." She nodded, embarrassed but grateful. "Humans are good at noticing things," she admitted. Ethan shook his head. "We just notice differently, that is all." Hours passed. They moved silently, resting only in hidden alcoves. Ethan began to understand the capital's rhythm, the faint hum of the molten core, the pulsing lights, the vibrations in the walls. The daughters began to rely on his senses as much as their own. Together they formed a rhythm, moving almost like a single organism. Finally, they reached a central hub beneath the Queen's palace. Massive doors of crystal and metal barred the path. Energy fields crisscrossed the room, forming a dangerous maze. Ethan studied the layout. "The Queen is trapped in a system beyond this," he said. "This is the final barrier. One mistake and alarms will alert the council. We must be precise." Nora nodded. "We trust you to guide us." Ethan examined the energy patterns. He realized the fields were linked to the palace's main system. Any dragon entering would trigger automatic defenses. Humans, however, could bypass the system by understanding the timing and flow of the energy. Ethan's heart pounded. This was the moment he had prepared for mentally for weeks, but now, facing it, he felt the weight of the empire on his shoulders. "Clara, Mia, you cover the sides," he whispered. "Lily and Kate, watch for patrols above. Nora, stay behind me. I guide the path." The daughters positioned themselves, blending strength, speed, and alertness. Ethan moved carefully, stepping through gaps in the energy fields. He calculated timing, counting heartbeats, feeling the rhythm of the energy. A single misstep would trigger the alarms. Halfway through, a sensor blinked red. Ethan froze, his heart raced. He examined the field and noticed a delay pattern. A moment later, the pulse shifted. He stepped through at the right moment, guiding the daughters safely. They barely breathed, waiting for him to signal the way forward. "Almost there," Ethan whispered, leading them toward the palace core. Finally, they reached the inner chamber. The Queen was there, seated in a crystalline throne that glowed with energy. Her golden eyes were closed and her wings were folded. She looked weakened, trapped in a system designed to drain her strength and control her mind. Ethan studied the system. Circuits, energy conduits, and glyphs pulsed with power. The council had designed it to control any dragon entering, even the queen herself. No dragon could escape it alone. He realized why the daughters needed him. "I can shut it down," he said quietly. "But I need everyone to cover me. One wrong move and it could backfire." Clara nodded. "We are ready." Lily, Kate, Mia, and Nora positioned themselves. Ethan approached the throne carefully. His hands moved over the controls, analyzing the system. The energy pulsed around him, but he felt the pattern. Dragons might panic, fight, or attack the system. Humans could manipulate it with careful observation and timing. He rerouted power, disabled security loops, and adjusted the conduits. Sparks flew, lights blinked, but the system remained stable. The Queen stirred slightly, sensing freedom. Ethan worked quickly, knowing the Council's agents could arrive any moment. Finally, with a soft hum, the system shut down. The energy fields collapsed without triggering alarms. The daughters exhaled in relief. The Queen opened her eyes, her gaze strong and clear. She looked at Ethan. For a moment there was recognition, even trust. "You saved me," she said softly, her voice filled with authority and wonder. Ethan shook his head. "We saved you together." The daughters smiled faintly, proud but exhausted. Ethan realized that human logic, patience, and observation had worked where dragon instincts alone could not. The Council's power had been defeated not by strength, but by careful thinking and teamwork. The Queen stood slowly, her wings stretching, regaining strength. She looked at Ethan again. "You are not like the others," she said. "Humans, you see differently, you notice what we cannot. Perhaps this is why your mother trusted you." Ethan felt a strange warmth. He did not seek praise, only the satisfaction of knowing that danger had passed. The daughters gathered around the Queen, each showing loyalty and relief. Together they formed a circle of strength, human and dragon united. Ethan realized something important. Dragons were powerful, beautiful, and majestic, but their instincts could be predictable. Humans were smaller, weaker, but flexible, careful, and clever. Together they could achieve what neither could alone. As the palace lights glowed softly, Ethan looked at the 5 daughters and the Queen. He understood that his life had changed forever. He was no longer just a human engineer. He was part of something larger, an alliance, a family of dragons and humans working together to protect a queen and a world. And somewhere deep inside, he felt the presence of the dragon woman he had met years ago. Her trust had led to this moment, and now that trust lived on in these daughters and in the bond they had all formed. The Queen turned to the daughters. "You have done well," she said. "And this human, he has proven himself. He is not like the others. He will help us build a future, one where humans and dragons can stand together." Ethan smiled quietly, knowing that their journey was not over. Challenges would come, but they had learned something valuable. Careful thinking, trust, and courage could defeat even the strongest enemies. And for the first time in his life, Ethan Cole felt that he truly belonged somewhere. Ethan Cole watched as the Queen rose from her crystalline throne. Her wings stretched slowly, golden light glinting on the edges. She looked stronger, freer, but the danger was not over. The Council had hidden agents inside the palace, and their influence still lingered. Ethan knew they had little time. Clara spoke quietly. "The Council will react soon. They will try to regain control." Lily paced, her curiosity mixed with tension. "How do we stop them?" "They have more machines, more power." Ethan studied the palace's central systems. "We don't fight them with strength. We fight them with understanding. We find the control points and disable them, one by one." Mia nodded. "We will help. We are ready." Kate's eyes glinted sharply. "We cover you. If anyone tries to stop you, we stop them first." Nora, standing close to the Queen, added, "I will coordinate. No one interferes with the plan." Ethan moved carefully toward the main control hub. The energy fields hummed softly, a warning of power and potential danger. He touched the interface, feeling the pulse of the systems. The Council had tried to create a network that controlled dragons, but they had overlooked one thing: human logic. Humans could see the patterns, the sequences, the hidden pathways in a way dragons could not. He began rerouting the flows. Wires glowed faintly, circuits hummed. The daughters watched, ready to act if anything went wrong. The Queen observed silently, her presence commanding calm and focus. Clara pointed to a panel. "That section controls the surveillance drones. If we shut it down, the Council cannot see our movements clearly." Ethan nodded. He worked quickly, adjusting conduits and bypassing controls. Sparks flickered, but nothing exploded. Slowly, the surveillance drones powered down, floating silently, no longer tracking their movements. Lily clapped softly. "That worked. You really can do it." Ethan shook his head. "It is careful work, attention to detail, patience, that is all." Mia noticed another sequence. "There, that system seems to control the energy barriers around the inner halls. If we shut it down, the council cannot trap anyone else." Ethan moved to the second panel. He studied it carefully. The energy flows were complex, and one wrong move could trigger alarms or harm the queen. His hands moved slowly but confidently, rerouting power, disabling traps, and creating safe pathways. The daughters stood by, protecting him and guiding him if needed. Kate growled softly. "They are coming. I sense it." Ethan glanced at the hallway. Shadows shifted, and he could see council agents moving with precision. They were faster than ordinary guards trained to block intruders. Ethan realized this was the real test. The council had underestimated him, but now they would try to stop him directly. "Cover me," he said quickly. The daughters moved immediately. Clara and Mia blocked one corridor. Lily and Kate took another, their wings half unfolded to appear larger and intimidating. Nora stayed close to the queen, guarding her as they prepared for confrontation. Ethan continued working on the systems. He rerouted power, creating false signals and loops. The agents approached cautiously, sensing the humans and dragons inside. Suddenly, a warning light flashed. One agent had spotted movement. Ethan did not panic. He adjusted a nearby circuit, causing a temporary blackout that hid their positions. The daughters reacted instantly. Clara struck first, her strength moving the agent aside without harming him. Kate's precise attacks disabled the other agent's tools, preventing them from using energy weapons. Lily and Mia used speed and agility to create diversions, drawing attention away from Ethan as he worked on the main system. Ethan focused, hands flying over panels, circuits glowing under his touch. He found the core control node, the heart of the council's trap systems. It pulsed with power, but he noticed the rhythm, the delay in signals, the repetition that allowed him to bypass it. "Almost there," he whispered. The agents regrouped, sensing something was wrong. They tried to use their control devices, but Ethan anticipated their moves. He rerouted the energy, sending false feedback, confusing their machines. The daughters blocked them physically when needed, Dragon's strength combined with human strategy creating a powerful defense. Nora called out, "Focus! Protect the queen!" The queen remained calm, observing the situation. She could feel her strength returning as the system lost its grip. Her golden eyes shone with gratitude as she watched Ethan and the daughters work. Finally, Ethan touched the final interface. Circuits hummed, energy flows adjusted, and the council systems began to collapse. Alarms blared briefly, then silence. The agents froze, their control devices useless. The daughters quickly restrained them, ensuring they could no longer interfere. Clara exhaled. "It's done. The systems are offline." Ethan nodded. "The council's power is broken. The queen is safe for now." The queen stood, wings fully extended, radiating strength. "You have done more than I expected," she said. "Human, your logic and courage have saved me and my empire. I thank you." Ethan shook his head. "We all work together. Humans, dragons, together we succeed." Lily smiled, proud. "He really is different. Humans can think in ways dragons do not." Mia nodded. "And they care, truly care, that is rare." Kate glanced at Ethan sharply. "He may be small, but he is clever. I underestimated him." Nora looked at him with respect. "Your mind is your strength, human. Never forget that." Ethan felt a strange warmth. The fear and tension that had filled him for weeks began to fade. He had faced danger, navigated complex systems, and helped save a queen. He realized that humans, though physically weaker than dragons, could make a difference when they combined thought, patience, and courage. The queen approached the daughters. "You have grown into capable guardians," she said. "Your mother would be proud. And you, human, are part of our story now." Ethan smiled quietly. He did not seek reward, only the satisfaction of knowing that his actions mattered. He looked at the 5 daughters and saw trust, loyalty, and pride. Together, they had faced the council, navigated deadly systems, and ensured the queen's safety. The council agents were secured, unable to harm anyone. The palace systems were restored to safe operation, under the queen's direct control. The daughters assisted Ethan in ensuring no hidden traps remained. They moved through the palace halls, checking energy flows and reinforcing defenses. Clara spoke softly. We are stronger together. Humans and dragons working as one. The council did not see that coming. Lily added, it's amazing, just amazing. Mia smiled, brushing her hair behind her ear. We can do more now. The Empire can rebuild. Kate's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. And we must stay vigilant. The council may have hidden supporters elsewhere. Nora looked at Ethan. We trust you. Your mind sees paths we cannot. You will help guide us in the future. Ethan felt humbled. He had never imagined that his quiet life as an engineer would lead to this moment. He realized that courage was not just strength and power was not just force. Understanding, observation, patience, and trust could be even stronger than claws or fire. The Queen turned to him once more. You have saved my life and the Empire. Your actions show that humans are not weak. Your kind can be trusted if chosen wisely. Perhaps the future of dragons and humans lies together. Ethan nodded quietly. We will protect the Queen. We will protect the Empire together. The daughters smiled faintly. They had learned that human logic and patience could complement dragon strength and instincts. Together, they had overcome danger and saved their queen without a single unnecessary fight, proving that brains and careful planning were sometimes stronger than brute force. As the palace lights glowed softly, Ethan realized that his journey was far from over. New challenges would come, but now he understood something important. Humans and dragons working together could overcome even the most cunning enemies. And somewhere deep inside, he felt the presence of the dragon woman he had helped years ago. Her trust had led to this moment, and now that trust lived on in these daughters and in the bond they had all formed. The Queen addressed the group, her golden eyes shining. You 5, daughters of my sister and you human have shown courage, wisdom, and loyalty. Let this day mark the beginning of a new alliance. Together, we will protect the Empire and build a future where humans and dragons stand side by side. Ethan felt a quiet pride. He had never sought adventure or glory, but now he understood that his actions mattered. He had helped save a queen, guided 5 powerful dragon daughters, and proven that humans could make a difference. The daughters gathered around him, each showing respect and trust. Together, they looked toward the future, ready to rebuild, protect, and ensure that the Council's dark influence would never threaten the Empire again. And for the first time in his life, Ethan Cole felt that he truly belonged somewhere, a human among dragons, a bridge between worlds, and a key part of a story much larger than himself. Ethan Cole looked around the palace as the sun's light reflected off the molten core, and the crystal towers. The danger was gone, but the weight of what had happened still pressed on him. The Queen was free, the Council defeated, and the Empire safe for now. Yet the challenge was not over. Rebuilding trust, securing the Empire, and ensuring peace would take time. The 5 daughters gathered around him. Clara, calm and steady, spoke first. We have learned much. The Empire is stronger than we realized, but it is fragile too. Humans have skills we can use. Lily, full of energy and curiosity, added, and humans can see things we never notice. Ethan saw the traps, the weak points. Without him, the Council would have won. Mia, shy but confident, smiled. We fought together. We protected the Queen. We can do more now if we continue to work as a team. Kate, sharp and cautious, crossed her arms. We must remain vigilant. The Council's supporters may still be out there, hiding. We cannot be careless. Nora, quiet and serious, looked at Ethan with respect. You have proven yourself, human. Your mind is as strong as our strength. You will be part of our efforts from now on. Ethan felt a mix of pride and humility. He had never sought adventure, never wanted to be part of politics or power struggles. Yet here he was, trusted by dragons and a queen. He realized that courage was not just about fighting. It was about thinking, planning, and caring for others. The Queen moved toward him, her wings fully extended, glowing in the soft light. Human, your actions have shown that humans and dragons can work together. You have saved my life, the Empire, and my people. I offer you a place here if you wish, as an advisor and protector. Ethan shook his head gently. I do not seek power. I want only to help. To protect and to learn, the Queen smiled. Then that is enough. Your wisdom and patience are more valuable than any weapon. The daughters gathered closer, listening to the Queen. She continued, today marks a new age. Humans and dragons can stand together, share knowledge, and build a future free from fear and control. We will honor your contribution, human, and the trust your mother placed in you years ago. Ethan felt the crystal in his pocket. The gift from the dragon woman years ago pulsed faintly. He remembered her trust, her courage, and her quiet strength. That trust had shaped this moment, had led to the freedom of a queen and the safety of an empire. Clara spoke softly. We must teach others to trust, to work together. Humans have patience, logic, and courage. Dragons have strength, instinct, and knowledge. Together, we are stronger than any council or enemy. Lily smiled. And we can explore new ideas, too. Humans think differently. Maybe we can invent, improve, and protect in ways we never imagined. Mia added. And we will do it carefully. No rushing, no carelessness. We learned that patience can save lives. Kate looked toward the palace gates. The council may try again, but they will face both dragons and humans who are ready. They cannot predict us now. Nora placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. You will be our guide in ways only humans can. We will trust your mind as we trust our instincts. Ethan felt warmth in his chest. He had never imagined that humans could be valued like this, trusted by dragons and a queen. He realized that every step, every careful choice had brought them here. Logic, observation, and trust had won where strength alone might have failed. The queen spoke again. We will rebuild the council's influence. Any supporters hiding will be found, and the empire will be secure. Humans and dragons will share knowledge, technology, and wisdom. This alliance will last. Ethan nodded. We will do it together. No one alone, but all working as one. The daughters smiled faintly. Together they walked with the queen through the palace halls. Ethan observed everything, the architecture, the energy flows, the signs of past battles. He realized that rebuilding would take patience, strategy, and care, not force. They reached a council chamber, empty now. Ethan examined the panels. We can secure these systems, make sure no one misuses them again. It will take careful planning. Clara leaned close. And humans can help with that. You see patterns and connections that dragons might miss. Together, we can prevent another crisis. Lily added, we should teach others too. Humans and dragons can learn from each other. We can create a future where fear does not rule. Mia smiled. And we will protect the queen, the people, and each other. We are stronger together. Kate nodded. Vigilance is key. We cannot forget the past. The council nearly succeeded because we underestimated the value of careful thought. Nora turned to Ethan. And that is why you are important. Humans are different, but your difference is our strength. Ethan felt humbled. He had never sought recognition, but he understood that his careful thinking, patience, and courage had mattered. He realized that humans could contribute in ways dragons might not have imagined. The queen addressed everyone. Let this day be remembered. Humans and dragons working together can protect the empire. Together, we will explore, create, and defend. The council has been defeated, but we must remain wise, patient, and vigilant. Ethan looked at the daughters. Each one had grown through this journey. They had learned to trust a human, to combine their instincts with logic and observation. He realized that trust was the foundation of true strength. The daughters gathered closer to him. Clara whispered, we will follow your guidance in times of strategy and planning. Humans think in ways we cannot. Your mind is a tool as valuable as our strength. Lily smiled. And we will explore new ways of protecting the empire, using both our abilities and yours. Humans and dragons together can achieve more than either alone. Mia added softly, we will be careful, patient, and strong. No one else can match this combination. Kate nodded. We will remain vigilant. The council may have supporters elsewhere, but they will face both dragons and humans who are ready. Nora looked at Ethan. You will always be part of this, human. Your presence has proven that we can work together, think together, and succeed together. The queen placed her hand on Ethan's shoulder. And now, human, you are part of our history and future. Your careful mind and courage have saved us all. Your presence will guide us forward. Ethan felt warmth and pride, but also humility. He had only acted as he thought best, carefully, patiently, and with attention to detail. Yet the results were greater than he had imagined. He realized that humans, though small and weak compared to dragons, could create change through trust, logic, and patience. The daughters gathered around the queen. They shared a quiet moment of triumph, understanding that the bond between dragons and humans had been strengthened. Together, they would rebuild the empire, protect it from future threats, and explore new possibilities. The queen addressed the entire palace. Let it be known that humans and dragons will work together. Trust, patience, and courage are the foundation of our alliance. The council is defeated, but our vigilance continues. The Empire will thrive under this partnership. Ethan watched the Queen, the daughters, and the palace. He realized that his journey had begun years ago when he had helped a wounded dragon woman on a distant station. That single act of trust had led to this moment, to the freedom of a queen, the safety of an empire, and the start of a new era. Clara spoke softly. "We will teach others to value humans as allies. Their thinking complements our instincts. Together, we are unstoppable." Lily added, "We will explore, protect, and create. Humans and dragons together can do what neither could do alone." Mia nodded. "We will remember this day, the courage, patience, and trust that brought us here. It will guide us always." Kate's eyes gleamed. "We must remain vigilant, strong, and clever. The future depends on it." Nora looked at Ethan with respect. "Your mind is our strength, human. Never doubt that." Ethan smiled quietly. He had never sought adventure or recognition. He had only acted with care and attention. Yet now he understood the value of human thought, courage, and trust. He had helped save a queen, guided 5 powerful dragon daughters, and strengthened the bond between dragons and humans. The queen turned to him one last time. "Ethan Cole, you have proven that humans and dragons can stand together, that trust and courage matter more than strength alone. You are part of our story now, and our future will be brighter because of you." Ethan felt a quiet joy. He had never imagined such a life, yet he realized that helping, thinking carefully, and trusting others had created something greater than himself. He was part of an alliance, a family of dragons and humans, and a bridge between worlds. The palace glowed softly around them. The Empire was safe, the Council defeated, and the future full of possibility. The 5 daughters stood close, golden eyes shining with trust, pride, and hope. Ethan realized that humans could make a difference, not through strength alone, but through logic, patience, and courage. And somewhere deep inside, he felt the presence of the dragon woman who had once trusted him. Her trust had led to this day, to the freedom of a queen, the safety of an empire, and the start of a new alliance. Ethan Cole smiled quietly. He had found a place, a purpose, and a family beyond his own species. Together with the queen and the 5 daughters, humans and dragons would build a future of trust, courage, and understanding. And for the first time in his life, Ethan felt truly at home.